A few weeks ago, I was playing ball hockey, and if you don't know what that is, it's essentially ice hockey without the ice, and you play with a ball instead of a puck. I ended up stepping on the ball by accident, rolling my foot, and hurting it really badly.
I don't know if you can see how swollen my foot is, and just how black and blue that hurts. Oh man. Foot's like twice the size.
I think it was sprained and I needed to go see a doctor, which made me think about making this video comparing the Taiwanese medical system to the one that we have in my home country of Canada, and seeing how they kind of match up against one another. Because while the Canadian healthcare system and the Taiwanese healthcare system are both lauded as being very good, no healthcare system around the world is perfect, and so today we're going to explore what it's like. Now, if you can hear from my voice, it's because I'm getting over a rather nasty chest infection or pneumonia or something like that, because I live here in Taiwan and it affects your health in all kinds of ways. And if you want to know more about how living in Taiwan affects your health, I have a whole video about that just for my channel members. And so if you want to watch it or you want to support me and my channel, consider joining. I have all kinds of extra content over there for you to watch if you so please. But for today, I needed to have my foot looked at, but the problem was I forgot to renew my health insurance. And so I was kind of weighing out my options, and I decided to try something that most people in Canada would never even consider, which is going to a Chinese doctor who practices Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. It's not something I had ever tried before, and I was kind of excited. And so I went to this office near my home, and I found out that without my health insurance card, it would cost 300 NT to go and see this doctor, which was really, really cheap. He had a look at my foot, but decided that he couldn't really do anything except give me these wraps that would go around my feet that would kind of ease the pain over time. But I was more interested in trying acupuncture, which I've heard from Taiwanese people that I know works really, really well. This is just something I had heard. I'd never tried acupuncture before, but apparently this doctor in particular didn't do acupuncture, so I left his clinic, went to another clinic, but they didn't do acupuncture on traumatic injuries. Apparently acupuncture is mostly like preventative, or if you have like a kind of a stiff shoulder or a knee, something like that, they'll do acupuncture. It's not really for something like sprains. I think that's a special kind of acupuncture. And so I was out of luck.
It seems none of these Chinese doctors can help me fix my foot. Another day with a painful foot, but at least I have the appropriate cookie to eat for the occasion.
It was time I go and renew my health insurance so I can go see a Western doctor.
需要的保险。
我跟你意思说你
可以好。
21?
谢谢。
Can I ask, do you have the family in Taiwan?
No.
No.
Just like that, I have health insurance. It was so cheap, I feel like I stole something from the government. Now I can ride this motorcycle and crash and not have to worry about it. So health insurance, the basic stuff, you know, just the national health insurance coverage, it only costs a little over 800 bucks a month, 800 NT, which is extremely cheap. And it was really convenient. I can't believe how short that process was just to get it. I mean, I waited maybe 10 minutes and then sitting down with that lady was probably 5 minutes. So very fast, very convenient and cheap. And I think I underestimated my Chinese ability a little bit. I thought maybe when you go, they talk about things that are complicated. Like I can say health insurance in Chinese, but I don't know that I would be able to have a conversation about like different levels of coverage. Because she spoke English, really good English by the way, which is very surprising. I realized I probably could do that conversation in Chinese. I just thought it would be more complicated than it was, but it was actually really simple. And that leaves us to where we are today, a few weeks later, where my foot feels a little bit better. I can walk on it, but there's certain parts of it that still hurt, which leads me to believe that I didn't sprain my foot. I might have broken it, and so I have to go and see a doctor, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me and see what that process is like, and then talk to people in Canada about what the process is like over there. So the Canadian medical system is very popular and often applauded for being universal. We pay for our healthcare in Canada through our taxes, and that means when you, let's say for example, break your leg and you go to the hospital, and get a cast and get it fixed, whatever. You don't have to pay any money, unlike in the States where if you have no health insurance, I assume that you have to pay for the whole thing by yourself, which can be very expensive. And you hear horror stories of Americans ending up in crippling medical debt because they can't afford the trip to the hospital because they never had health insurance. But in Canada, you don't really have to worry about that. And so people really like that system, but it's not perfect. See, the wait times in Canada are notoriously long. Seeing a specialist takes a really long time. We don't have enough people in the field. And also remember that Canada is a huge country. It's so big, and so not every area is the same. Here in Taiwan, the wait times aren't very long and things get done really quickly, really sufficiently, and it's really cheap. Downside is that doctors and nurses and all kinds of medical personnel here make way less than ours do in the West. And that's because the medical system here, again, is just like the Canadian system, also overburdened with lots of people going to see the doctors. And so I know of a few hospitals here in Taichung that are considered not as good because doctors will simply prescribe you something or tell you what's wrong with you just kind of quickly, just to kind of get you out of the office to go and see the next doctor. Or they might tell you you need surgery when you don't need surgery necessarily because that's how they make more money. So there's certain things like that that happen here. You know, some hospitals are better than the other. And I don't know this, but from what I can remember living in Canada is that most hospitals, I mean, they're all similar. I mean, some might not have certain facilities like specialized equipment, but for the most part, I don't remember anyone saying this hospital is better than the other hospital. They're all just kind of hospitals, and you might go to certain ones for specific things. But here in Taiwan, it seems like they kind of rank their hospitals. Some hospitals are better than others. So, well, that said, let's go and see a doctor about my foot. Made it to the hospital, but I forgot a mask.
Where's your pain?
脚。
脚，右脚，脚趾，How long? What's your name? 112 or number 2?
Okay. Thank you.
Chinese, okay?
一点点。
你的鞋子、袜子都要脱掉。
Okay.
好了。
好吗？
对。
My foot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's sprained or broken.
Okay. Oh, it's broken.
Oh, okay. That was fast.
So, you say you're doing the
Sports.
Okay.
There was a ball,
Yeah.
and I stepped on the ball, and my foot kind of
Okay.
rolled around it, so I thought it was sprained.
Yeah. So
And
you have a fracture line over here. You can see there's a line over here.
Okay.
So this is the we call it the fifth metatarsal bone over here. It doesn't need any surgery,
Okay.
but you will recover by yourself. But it takes time. Yeah, it may take about 6 weeks. 6 weeks to have
heal.
the bone heal. Yes.
Okay, yeah. But it's not a big break, just a little.
It's not a big break. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I order this brace for you, and then you can after you finish this, you wait outside. I'm getting ready to come to you, and then she will tell you and bring this to you. Okay.
Okay.
You come back to my office 1 month later to have the X-ray. Okay, to see if the bone is healed.
Sure.
Okay.
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 Thank you.
Okay.
脚在里面，它会自己卸掉。
So I gotta wear this stupid boot. And one thing the national health insurance doesn't cover is stuff like this. So I had to pay out of pocket for this. It cost me 9,000 NT, which is very expensive. Because it's already been a few weeks since I hurt my foot, I don't know how much this boot's gonna help me. And I brought my scooter today, so at least I can ride home. So yeah, so if I brought my motorcycle, I wouldn't be able to use it, but scooter, no problem. just realized the worst part about this is that I can't ride my motorcycle anymore. Because I need my right foot to operate my rear brake. And I can't ride that anymore, not with a big boot on. That sucks. But at least the whole process was really quick. I mean, I got to the hospital at 4:30, and by 6 o'clock I had already seen the doctor, got my x-ray, realized my foot was broken, and got this boot. So, a couple hours, it's pretty quick. It's a very streamlined process. Okay, here's my kind of stupid question. What is the difference between these two boots? Because this one's a hard leather boot that also keeps my foot in place, so it heals. And I've been wearing this boot actually when I go outside because it's more comfortable. I just don't get it. This feels like a waste of money. I wonder if I can sell this to someone when I'm finished. So there you go. My foot is indeed broken. I should have gone to the doctor a lot earlier, but I just didn't because I thought it might have been sprained. But I'm really impressed with the experience. I mean, it was really quick. The doctors spoke English. In fact, I would argue that all doctors in Taiwan speak English, which is impressive. That's a big difference from my country of Canada, where you're probably not going to find a doctor that speaks Chinese. They'll probably speak French and English, depending on which part of the country you're in. But that's really what I wanted to talk about. What are the differences? And to find out, I called my best friend growing up. We grew up together. His name is James. He's now a paramedic where we grew up. And I wanted to ask him what the Canadian system is like. I got to the hospital, saw a doctor, got an x-ray, and got this boot thing in like an hour and a half.
Right.
How long would that take in Canada?
If you went to a hospital, I think the average wait time right now is between 3 and 4 hours.
Okay,
for
that's
most
not
hospitals.
that
In our area, we're in like the Ottawa-ish area.
Right.
I think it's around 3 hours. It's all triage based, right? So if you're the more severely injured or sick that you are, the quicker you'll be seen. You having fractured your foot and having foot pain, that's like bottom. Like that's they don't care about that. That's not an immediate threat.
Right.
You're fine. You're bleeding. Everything's okay. So you go to the back of the line kind of thing.
So Canada is obviously a huge country, and I've heard from friends, especially family of mine who live in Cape Breton, as you know, and they can't get family doctors or get seen at all. So like, how does it vary around the country?
That's very much the same thing here. Living in Ottawa, at least, so like because there is a population of over 1 million people, there's some draw for physicians to actually work here because it's a city. Like if you came back right now, you would end up on a list for a family doctor very likely. And I think, I don't want to speak out of turn, but some people wait on those lists for like 1, 2, 3 years.
Jeez.
Like, so it depends. Obviously, sometimes you might get lucky and have signed up to a new practice with a new physician, and it could be only a few months. But
Right.
it generally, I believe, it's like 1 to 2 years.
Canada has a universal healthcare system, which means we pay for it with our taxes. Taiwan's healthcare covers dental as well. So like, what are things that the Canadian system doesn't cover?
Currently, I don't believe dental is covered. Seeing a physician, so for in your case with your foot, you'd go see a physician. That's free. You'd go get your boot. I'm not sure if the boot would be charged or not.
What do you think are the best and worst things about the Canadian healthcare system?
Triaging exists for a reason. So if you come in and you're very sick and you're very acutely ill and you need help right now, you would get that help. Very, very seldomly would someone come in who is very sick and imminently going to die and not be able to get help within seconds of walking in the door. The fact that you can call 911 whenever you want and an ambulance will come, even if it's far away, someone is coming and you're not going to have to pay more than, I think it's like, I want to say $50, $60 or something like that for your ambulance ride. But you get care fairly quickly here if you're sick. The main problem is because, like we talked earlier, people don't have family doctors. So they go to the hospital. So they'll have a fever for a couple days, they'll have a cough, runny nose, they feel ill, they just want to go get something, maybe some sort of antibiotic. They end up at the hospital, and that's not where you're supposed to go. You're not supposed to go to the hospital for being generally ill. If there's no clinics available and you don't have a family doctor, people get frustrated and they go to the hospital. And that's what sort of kind of clogs the whole thing up.
Right. That's so interesting that you said that. You're not supposed to go to the hospital when you're feeling ill, like how you described, which is, I think, generally speaking, the way that most Western people look at it. But here in Taiwan, particularly elderly people, love going to the hospital for all kinds of things because it's free. It's not free, but it's universal, right? Like everyone is covered, and so they just go. Like, why wouldn't they? They're paying for it. And what do you think is like the worst part of it?
This is from my opinion, anyways. My perspective is we would have more physicians if we were more competitive. There's a lot of brain drain. We live beside the United States. From what I've heard, people who I know are physicians, the dollar value that they make there is closer to double.
That's crazy. Yeah. Wow.
But
yeah.
It depends on specialty and things like that, like entirely.
Right.
But in general, you do make a lot more money working in the States. So unless if someone wants to raise their family here, and if they're only driven by the dollar, they will move to the States.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you at that point if you're gonna make way more money?
Well, because then you'd be living in the States.
Classic Canadian response right there, yeah.
There's that, yeah, there's a little bit of that.
So yeah, to sum it up, the Taiwanese healthcare system is fast, it's convenient, it's available to everyone, and I think most people in Taiwan are quite happy with the way that their medical system works, and foreigners are often very impressed when they come to Taiwan by it. And in Canada, it's cheap, fast, depending on what's wrong with you and where you go and where you live. And the quality is very high. Both systems are really good. I'm quite happy with the system in Taiwan, even though, you know, the basic health insurance doesn't cover the stupid expensive boot I had to buy. But again, thanks to my channel members who support me here, maybe I'll be able to afford it. If you guys like this video, if you found it interesting, hit the like button. If you feel like I deserved it, I would love it for you to subscribe and have you along on my journey here in Taiwan. If you want to see extra content or you want to support my channel, again, I remind you to check out my members, my channel members. I'm trying to build that up and engage with them in a different way, and it's a lot of fun. You can also follow me on Instagram at prosy_SR, and yeah, stay positive, keep your stick on the ice, and I'll catch you guys next week for another video.